Evening. I call this January 13th meeting of the Abington Conservation Commission to order. The time is 6:30 p.m. My name is Lynn Mullen. I'm the chair of the commission. I'll be presiding over the meeting this evening. This meeting is being recorded for broadcast by the Abington Community Access and Media Incorporated. Is anyone else recording this meeting? Okay.
Not me.
All right, not you. The other members of the commission that are here tonight are Alex Bezanson, we have Alvin Schneider, and Chris O'Neill. Okay, so assisting the commission is our conservation agent, Nick Jenks. And as a reminder, all documentation must have been submitted to the commission at least 1 week prior to the hearing. Documents that are offered at tonight's meeting will be accepted by the commission, but the hearing will be continued to give the commission and the public adequate time to review new materials. All right, so now I'm going to briefly explain how we're going to run the hearing tonight. The applicant or property representative will introduce themselves up here at the podium and provide their address. If they have a presentation, they'll make it at that time. The commission is then going to ask any questions for clarification, and after that, I will open it up to the floor for public comment. So members of the public, when you want to speak, you should go to the podium, give your name and address, and direct your comments through the chair. And then once we finish public comment, we'll bring it back to the commission for a discussion. So at that point, we won't be taking additional public comments unless the commission asks for them. And we may take action this evening or continue a hearing to a future meeting. And finally, because our recording equipment doesn't pick up overlapping voices very well, I do ask that everyone speaks one at a time throughout the hearing. All right. So the first item, we have SE 0840576, Notice of Intent filed by MP Design Consultants to construct a 3-lot, single-family home subdivision with a wetland crossing project located at 4454 Linwood Street. Is there anybody here for this property?
Hello, Scott Rubin, 71 Legion Parkway, 3rd floor, Brockton, Mass. On behalf of the applicant, Winter Fox, we have a bit of an update for the board or the commission. We had requested a continuance to this date, and since that time, we had an opportunity to meet with the planning board peer review specialist, Mr. Silva, independently, and have, as of January 9th, I believe, we had submitted a full set of revised plans addressing those comments to the board, to the planning board, with the expectation that Mr. Silva said he would get back to us in a couple of weeks, and we expect to be on the agenda for planning board on February 2nd. So with that in mind, since it's been sort of the process here that we're trying to get as much of the planning board process done as possible before we come back to this board, that we had submitted I had sent an email to Mr. Jenks and another letter today seeking continuance to the meeting to March. I think this board meets the second Tuesday of the month. So if we continue to March, that means we'd have the opportunity to meet with planning both. I think they meet the first Monday of every month. So we'd have the opportunity to get in on the February meeting, and then if for some reason there was any continuances to that we'd have a second meeting in front of the planning board, and then we would be prepared to, hopefully we would have submissions to your peer review specialist as well. I believe the comments actually that were made were addressed by Mr. Silva, had incorporated some of Mr. Rockwell's comments in his peer review response, and we've tried to address those as well with the planning board. But I certainly understand Mr. Rockwell would want to see the plans and our submissions as well. So that would give us time to get another filing in here and have Mr. Rockwell review what we've submitted as well in time for the March meeting. So we've requested an extension until March, if the board commission would give us that pleasure.
So I watched the planning board meeting, and let me just make one thing perfectly clear. When I said that I suggest you go back to planning board and zoning before you come to conservation, it was for your benefit.
Right.
We're not playing ping pong with you. And the planning board actually told you that too. that if you get approved by us and then you have to go back to them, then
Right.
you'd have to go back again.
Correct.
So don't go to planning board and tell them that conservation is ping-ponging you back and forth, because that's not the case. I don't care if you file with planning board or zoning or not. It's just for your benefit
Yeah.
is the reason I said that.
I understand.
And that's not what you insinuated.
I didn't mean to insinuate that.
Well, you did.
You absolutely did. You said there are numerous questions holding us up from conservation.
And then when they asked you specifically, you couldn't pinpoint one.
Well, part of what we had was the road location. There's several things that we needed to
And
address
I
before
told
we
you,
came
if that
back.
road changed, then you would have to come back to us.
100%, that's why I
And that's
said,
why I said it's in your best interest to go to those two boards first.
and that's why,
Now-
Again,
now
that's why-
you're doing it.
well,
But don't insinuate to the planning board, because Bob Soper on the planning board that sits right there said the exact same thing I said.
won't come up again.
And if we do continue this, and I make the motion to continue it, it's going to be with the notifications again to the abutters,
Not a problem.
because this has been going on for way too long, and the abutters can't keep up with all the continuances and all the meetings on this.
I have no issues with the butter
I will
notifications
make a
again.
motion to continue
Okay.
with the restriction, with the, that you have to notify all the abutters
No-
again
no
by
problem.
certified mail, just as if you were filing for the first time.
No issues with that whatsoever.
And then, even further, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Rockwell was hired to review the initial plan that they had submitted.
Yes.
So what does Mr. Rockwell owe to them at this point from the initial bid that was placed and hired on?
He did it on an hourly rate, so he wasn't given,
Okay.
right, Nick?
He's currently paid to date. When it became clear we're gonna have a long break, I asked him for an invoice and got him paid up. We're holding a little money, not much.
I
If
just
there's
want
a-
to make sure they're not looking for beyond what he was originally contracted for.
I mean, it was hourly. I haven't talked to him recently because there hasn't been a need to. I would think once we have something productive for him to see, we should open the conversation back up with him.
I mean, if you need another deposit, if that's the question, we're...
Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head. I'd have to look and see where we're at.
Yeah, we had that with the planning board as well. So if there's an amount that needs to be presented,
I'll hold my motion.
we'll take care of that. No problem.
Yeah, and we ran through the initial deposit, and they came in when we asked them and dropped off a second deposit for Mr.
Okay.
Rockwell, too. That wasn't been an issue.
I just want to make sure we're not looking for above and beyond what was expected from his initial hire.
Yeah, I think he understood could be some changes and
Yeah.
everything like that along the way.
Yeah, I think we would expect that he would review what we wind up with at planning board.
Yeah, he hasn't said anything to make me think
No.
otherwise.
Yeah, so we're happy to resubmit or submit the additional information to him for his resolution. So they are his comments, so he should speak to them,
Yeah.
for sure, so.
And I know there was discussion, because one of the interests of the Wetlands Protection Act is stormwater, but for some reason, in our town, planning does the stormwater. So, but we still have, it's also one of the interests that we have control over.
Sure.
So Mr. Rockwell should be also looking at any stormwater in addition to
Yeah, he had made a
anything
few
else.
comments
Yeah.
related to it.
Yeah, we
Just
did-
to make that clear.
We did submit an updated stormwater management with planning board as well.
Okay.
So hopefully, February 2nd, by then, we'll have some comments on that from Mr. Silver as well. But I will note that stormwater is for his review as well.
Okay. Any other comments before I'd open it up to the floor? No? Okay, members of the public, anyone like to speak about this? No one? Okay, bringing it back.
I'll make a motion to continue to March 10th, 2026, with the stipulation you must notify all of the abutters.
I will second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Unanimous. Thank you.
What was the date, I'm sorry?
March
March
10th,
10th.
March 10th.
6:30 PM.
Yeah.
Next, SC 0840555, discussion on invasive species management plan, project located at 412 Summer Street.
I think we've got 3 people on Zoom for this project. And this is Pat.
Good evening.
Who's also here.
Pat Cushing, representing Wood Partners at 412 Summer Street, Abington, Mass.
Okay.
Attendance was, requested in regards to reviewing the invasive species plan, as well as discussing some buffer zone questions that had come up over the past couple of weeks. So,
Okay. Do you want to talk about the plan?
so the plan has been submitted to you guys as far as for the Japanese knotweed. We have David Lapointe, who has assembled the plan, on the call. He can speak to it more than myself for what the plan of action will be. So David, I don't know if you have any comments on the presentation for the plan?
Just to introduce myself, Dave Lapointe with Beals and Thomas. Yeah, we were engaged by Wood Partners and Vertex to review the site. As we understand it, there was some observations made where there was some Japanese knotweed that was starting to grow, potentially as a result of topsoil or loam that had been brought in as part of the development project. So we went out there, granted it was essentially on New Year's Eve, and the area had been essentially cut down, but we did the best we could to try to identify some species, and we did observe some Japanese knotweed, and the plan has been prepared to address various methods to try to eradicate that Japanese knotweed through various methods, between cutting and hand removal, as well as chemical treatments. It's spelled out in the plan there as far as some recommendations as how to apply those chemical treatments. And then we also did include at the back of the report some contractors that we've worked with in the past that are familiar with this type of vegetation management, and we would expect that if one of those contractors were hired to address this, they would certainly, would be familiar with this type of a program and would address it appropriately.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Wood Partners has any more comment on it. I mean, we rely on the experts on situations like this where the correct actions to be taken, and so, with this plan in place, barring the committee's approval, we'll proceed with what we need to remediate the knotweed concern.
So in reading this over, I noticed that we talked about glyphosate, Roundup, right? And what I've read is that you really should be using an aquatic labeled version, like rodeo. Is that the plan? Because a lot of it's right up against the pond.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I would say that we would have to put in any precautions in order to protect the wetlands for whatever chemical treatment would be required to, remove it in a safe manner for the wetlands, especially with being within the buffer zone of the wetlands.
So we have 3 different things that are proposed: mechanical, hand removal, smothering, and then herbicide application. Is your plan to first try to mechanically remove as much as possible, then try to smother, and then if that doesn't use the chemical, or are you gonna just say, we're gonna pick one?
Yeah, I mean, David,
I can kind of hop in there.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Pat, if you don't mind, I apologize. Jeff Davies, we've obviously met a few times. So the recommendation at the end of this report is to do some sort of smothering followed by the chemical treatment. My question to you guys is chemical treatment permitted that close to the wetlands? If it is, we'll go that route as, from my understanding, it's the most effective way to eradicate the Japanese knotweed. If you guys don't want to permit it because of the proximity to the wetlands, we would go the cutting down, and smothering route. And then obviously we'd have to check back periodically to see if it does come back, because Japanese knotweed is known to do that. So I guess it depends on if you guys are willing to allow us to use the chemicals in that area, and then we would, proceed to go that route as it's most effective. So that is a recommendation at the end of this report, and I'm looking for a little bit of guidance from this board and how they would like us to proceed in that matter.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, I would prefer mechanical, try to avoid chemicals. My understanding, though, is that if you're going to use a chemical, it should be an aquatic version.
Understood.
Aquatic labeled, and that it should be either painted on or injected. And I think you had a timeline for when you would cut it down and then do the injection, which I think is fine. One of the things that I would like to know is the idea is that we're going to get rid of this stuff, hopefully. It's going to be hard, right? It's probably always going to pop up somewhere on the site.
Yeah.
So let's say that you go 2 years and you get rid of a lot of it. What are you going to do to the soil that's exposed, that doesn't have any knotweed?
Like a preventative treatment, you're saying?
Not a chemical treatment, but
Yeah.
are you going to put mulch down?
Well, the area in those photos of where we've noticed a knotweed does call for stabilization via, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's sod or seed, one of the two on those back sides, so.
Hydroseed is in that specific location.
Yeah, so
Sorry to
hydroseed will
interject.
definitely be, that area, once we get into the warmer months, can be raked, seeded, hydroseeded, and reestablished if necessary. Now, if we're gonna mechanically remove it, obviously we'd do all that work first before we put hydroseed down. The hydroseed would be the last step to try and stabilize and contain the area.
So my thing, though, is that if you want to, ideally, what you would want to do is have things there that would outcompete it.
Okay.
Something that would shade it, prevent it from growing or minimizing it. So if you're just going to put down hydroseed, that knotweed's going to come back and it's going to outcompete any grasses that you put there.
Sure. Okay.
So from what I've been reading, there are some really great native species that you could plant. They could get really big, and they don't completely eliminate it, but they certainly knock it back. So that's more of a long-term solution. So we're not talking 6 years from now, going back to the same place and having to do this over and over and over again.
Okay.
So that would be, from kind of looking at that, you would want to at least mulch it until a lot of the Roundup is, not Roundup, sorry, we're not using Roundup, rodeo is been, done a lot of the work.
Yep.
And then plant around that and try to cover every square inch you possibly can with a different plant so that they can outcompete the knotweed.
Okay.
So that would be my suggestion. It may, I know you probably don't want to pay for plants and everything, but I think that would be the best solution and would cause, in the future, less need for invasive species management for the different areas.
Yeah, it's definitely an option we can absolutely discuss. I'm not a Japanese knotweed expert, so
Yeah.
whatever would, put this problem to bed, I'm sure that we can discuss internally and come up with a solution for it.
Yeah.
Yep. Anything to add, Jeff?
No, I would agree to that. I'd just say our plan right now, and by that I mean the documents for the project, don't call for any plantings in that area, but if that's, to reiterate what Pat said, if that's a way that we can, confidently, address this moving forwards, I don't see any issues with that. We do have a landscaper as part of this project, separate from David at Beals and Thomas, that we can engage, and he can come up with a planting plan, and we can kind of go that route from there. Like Pat said, neither of us are experts, so we need to engage the experts, with a recommendation of additional planting, and have no issues doing that, and we'll, proceed in that manner if that's how you guys want us to.
Yeah, I was looking up, there's a
My
lot
only-
of, sorry?
Sorry, go ahead. I was gonna say, my only open question is still if you guys want us to use the chemical versus the, it sounds like we're gonna mulch and plant. I don't know if you still want us to use a chemical treatment or not. I'm a little unclear on that.
That's my question too. Are we using chemical or no?
So it was smothering, right? That was going to be the primary thing. And as needed, they could inject some of the rodeo because that would go straight into the plant. But again, you know, from what you have on your plan,
Yep.
it shows it's right by the pond.
Right.
That's not,
Yeah.
it's probably elsewhere on the property too, because that's just what you saw on New Year's Eve, right?
Yeah, right.
So, and it'll pop up. So I don't know.
Is it better to do the chemical while they have all the safety up and everything? I mean, you got the, I don't know, I'm kind of deferring to you what you think on that.
I don't like these chemicals at all.
At all, period.
No, at all.
Okay.
But,
I was just saying, if they're gonna do it, maybe now's the time to do it while they got all the barriers up and everything.
yeah,
But-
exactly, exactly.
But
But,
yeah, I'll defer to you on that.
Well, I think, my opinion would be when you hire a contractor, maybe we could have a quick meeting out there and just go
Yeah.
over it and let the expert tell us what's
Yeah,
the best way to
absolutely.
do it,
Yeah.
you know?
yeah.
Yeah, that's not a problem.
Because if he
Yeah.
just says, you know, smothering it, it's gonna be good for a year, and then it's gonna come back, but if we inject it, it's gonna do this, so why don't we do that?
I think it's still gonna come back, and
It's
even
gonna
when you
come
put
back
it,
no matter what. I
but
have
you
no
can
mind.
greatly reduce it, and my thought was, it's, you know, you're always gonna have to be battling this stuff on properties.
Yep.
But if you can then
Yep.
try to get things that will outcompete it. I found a whole list of different tall woody species and ground covers, perennials, that are really good at, they don't completely prevent it from growing, but they're tall enough, they're aggressive enough that they will help prevent it from continuing.
Sure.
So
Okay.
that would be my suggestion is,
Yeah.
yeah. And I
So
think
we'll research, you know, based on this plan, some contractors, Jeff, correct me if I'm wrong, that are capable.
Yeah, we'll engage our current landscaper, engage the contractor, recommended contractors, and then we can kind of just, after we get a little bit more information, we can kind of provide an update and then plan to meet on site at some point. I think is
Yeah.
probably the best path forward here.
It does say late June, early July.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not happening tomorrow anyway.
No, certainly not.
The, just two things. One,
Yep.
Lynn, you mind getting that list over to me? I'll share it with them, just to help their landscaper get off to a jump start on it.
Sure.
Separately, my one thing with this hanging around, I'm assuming with the pace of the project, they're gonna be looking for a COC before June or July. So we probably want this resolved, the plan resolved. I know the
Yeah,
work will be
so, I mean,
an
if they-
ongoing condition, but I think they're probably gonna want this resolved, because I don't see
Yeah,
the
no, I have
commission.
no problem with that. I mean, if you hire a contractor and the
Yeah, I
engineering
mean, we
work,
can-
we'll meet out there then and
Right.
go
Yeah,
over
I
it.
mean,
Yeah, I have no problem
prior
with
to the
that.
final CO,
And we are-
obviously. Go ahead, Jeff.
We are ultimately the end user as well, as the developer of this project, so we're not going anywhere, even though the construction, you know, would be completed in, you know, projected in April. So, yeah, like you said, we'll get the plan, hire the contractor, and if you guys are okay with that, that's, you know, how we would look to proceed.
Okay,
So we wanna set maybe a March date or something to kinda
yeah.
go
so
back
if we-
over, they can kinda finalize their plan.
Yeah, you want to do that, come back in March.
Yeah.
And then maybe with the plan and the contractor, and then, you know, if we meet with them March 10th and. go
When you say
over
meet,
some-
you mean meet here, you want to meet out on the site?
Why don't you come to a meeting so it's on record?
Okay.
I think maybe go to the site a few days before,
Okay.
go over it,
And then come to a meeting.
so
it's
everyone
on
kind of have
record.
an idea, a visual of it.
Yep.
Try to get as many of you guys as we can out for
Yeah.
that one.
So if we could do that, you know, at least a few days prior to the March 10th meeting,
Okay. Yeah,
and then we'll have a plan going forward.
I don't see that being a
That'd be the
problem.
most productive way,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay. Okay.
All right. Any members of the public have a comment? Nope. Bringing it back to the board.
No, no further comments from me.
Okay.
So we'll plan on March 10th,
Okay.
we'll put you on the agenda.
Yeah, I'll reach out and have Nick, once I get a little more information, just keep Nick in the loop, and then we can get a date set up prior to that March 10th,
Sounds
a couple
good.
days before.
All right. Do we need a vote?
I
don't think on that.
Yeah, what are they-
No, we're just working through the
No.
process.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Anything
Good.
else?
Thank you.
Talk to you
No, I'm good.
later.
All right, very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
The,
Yep.
Thank you, guys.
okay.
Well,
Pat, you're still
hang
there.
You're
around.
staying.
Yeah, hang
Not you.
around.
Him.
Me, not me?
Nope,
Yeah.
you're good.
All right, thank you.
No,
All right, up next, SEO,
you want to be here, Pat?
Okay.
SEO 840555, discussion on enforcement order on 412 Summer Street. So we received a report, couple things. One is the last meeting that we spoke with you, there was an area by the pond that we said we were fine with you starting to store things there. You could park vehicles, but not heavy pieces of the machinery. We had some snow, and a member of the commission and her husband drove by and said there was an excavator that was parked in that area. We also received reports that there had been snow that had been plowed and pushed up by the fence, by the pond. Which is not where it's supposed to go.
If you, yeah, you have,
Yeah,
So just because I direct operations on site on a daily basis, that's hence why, my presence here today. So as far as the snow, I mean, now, obviously we're under the, acknowledge the fact that you guys there is not snow storage allowed in that area. However, I read through the order conditions, the construction documents, and I can't find anywhere in there where it states that. Now, honest mistake on my part, if that's not warranted there, that's fine, I can, coordinate that accordingly. But in no way, shape, or form do we think that we're doing anything wrong. I just want to be clear on that. I'm not egregiously putting anything in that area to make a problem for anyone. But I just was kind of caught off guard by the snow storage thing, to be perfectly honest. I mean, it was in front of the curb line, it melts, it drains into the stormwater system that goes to the basin, like the balance of the precipitation on the site. So I just wanted to get a little bit of clarification myself, just so I make sure I'm doing the right thing. I'm not trying to be a problem to the board or any of the residents in the community for snow storage or anything else for that matter. So I just want to make sure that I understand clearly what the expectation is on that.
Does it say in the order of conditions on the plan they can't put snow there?
the ordinance says nothing in that area, and the board allowed them to start storing some stuff in the area. I think the snow issue comes more from treatment that goes down as a part of that then gets plowed up and over. The other thing too, the picture I got, it was pushed up over the curb, which then is just a hill down to the pond. So I think better off
yeah.
sending the snow just the other end of the site.
Yeah,
Because eventually
and
the
that's...
plows push it a little deeper, especially when we
understand.
start having a bad winter.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, this is the first plowable event that we've had of the season. My landscaper's first time plowing the site, and the storm was off hours, so unfortunately, I wasn't there at the time. No excuse, but, it wasn't done on purpose, or anything egregiously by any means. I can certainly, make that known to the snow removal company, keep all the snow inbound of those islands, towards the building. We'll just have to relay that information to, the appropriate parties as we move forward. But I just didn't see it, when it says nothing in that area, I mean, with it being natural precipitation, I didn't think it was going to be a cause of problem. I mean, I can understand if we were salt treating or something, I get that. But we're merely just trying to make the road access safe for the workers at that
I mean, we
point.
made this pretty clear right at the beginning when trees were first being felled. They were like, oh, we're going to store it over here where we're going to store snow. We said, well, no, that's supposed to be on the other side. So
Okay.
people were told right from the very first week of the project to not put snow there. And
Okay.
so that's where it's kind of like, oh my God. And we also said, don't park something like an excavator in that area.
Yeah, I'm confused
And
on
here
the
we are.
excavator. I mean, the skid loader was on, past the entrance, which I thought was outside the buffer zone. I mean, I'm not here to argue about equipment. I know there's no heavy equipment allowed in that space, and there won't be any moving forward. And there hasn't been, because I leave that site every day. But as far as the snow, I mean, I won't put any snow there. I can guarantee that moving forward. And like I said, I'm not trying to be a nuisance to anybody, including this board or the residents. Just trying to be a friendly neighbor. But, now that I'm well aware that no snow over there, then I will keep the snow out of that area, no problem. And that's all I can do.
There's also, I think, there's an intermittent stream area that's farther, closer towards Progress Street. So that's another area. I'm not sure if snow was pushed there.
By the basin? By the basin on the other side of the access road?
I don't know what you guys have done with it yet, but there is an intermittent stream. It heads over by the DPW building.
Yep.
So I don't know if snow has been...
No, I mean, we can't get over there anymore because of the basin.
Right,
It's a
okay.
big gully there now, so we
Okay.
can't even get over there.
But, yeah, so the thing is that we've had you come in practically every meeting. At least, 4 or 5 meetings. And I'm getting a little tired of it. And what we get is, here's a violation and an apology, and that's all. And we keep doing this back and forth. I'm sure you want to be somewhere else right now. I'd like to move on to my next agenda item as well. So we have this enforcement order on you right now, which we can vote to ratify, to make certain that you don't have snow that's being removed there and keeping the equipment off.
Yep.
Like we told you to, but I don't know what we want to do as a commission about the continuing violations.
Well, I think, obviously, I believe him when he says he didn't think snow was one of the things that you couldn't put there, especially if they're not treating it, if it was just snow. Should it be plowed over into the pond? No. But it was, like he said, the first event, the first snowstorm, new for everyone there, the landscaper, the plow guys and everything. I think we just tell them where we want it and move on. I don't see the need to make too big a deal out of this, but I don't want to see it happening again either. And I agree, they have been in here for several things. He's saying there wasn't a piece of heavy equipment there. One of our members say there was. We could argue about that all night long. That's
Sure.
not going to help anything. So just make sure there is no heavy equipment down there. And maybe it was just outside, or maybe it was just inside. I don't know. I didn't see it, so I can't speak on that. But I think, I think you should know by now what we want. So we don't want you in here every meeting with another thing going on.
Yep.
Personally, I'm not sure there's an enforcement order needed just to tell them to move the snow, but,
And I just want to be clear that as soon as I saw the email about it, I got in a piece of equipment myself, pulled the snow back, relocated it as
Yeah.
soon as I was notified. I mean,
No, and I get that, it was the first snow at that place, so now you're aware of it, make
Yeah.
sure you...
I just don't want to think it's being ignored or anything like that, because it's not how I run my operations. I know that Jeff Davies and Jeff Wetton feel the same. They enforce it to me as well. So if there's a concern from the community, the municipality, or anyone involved in the project, I do everything I can to make sure that we're being what we need to be and professionals. So, but like I said, I'll make it a point again to make sure that, we're basically out of the phase of heavy equipment thankfully now, but no heavy equipment over there, no snow storage over there. We'll put the snow on the other side of the property, and I'll make sure that the snow removal contractor for us is well aware of that, and I'll even go as far as just coning the whole area off to avoid any, I will have to clear the snow out of that area.
You'll have to plow it. There's no
Yeah,
doubt about
but
that.
I can relocate it to other areas other than up against that curb line, which is not a problem, so,
It's parking area, you have to plow it.
yeah, for sure.
I would agree with Alex. I don't feel that they keep coming back for the same thing, but I would just say, obviously, there's people watching every move, so
Yeah,
just
yeah.
try and keep that in mind.
Yep,
People
understood.
are watching every move,
Oh,
so,
many people.
be aware of that, yeah.
Yeah, no, understood. That's fine, and I have no problem doing everything we can to appease the masses, so.
I still think we should ratify this enforcement order just to make certain that it is in
That it's
effect.
documented, that we don't.
It is documented.
And then when is that removed?
We can remove it at the next meeting if they are not doing violations. Or we can decide another meeting.
Okay.
Because right now we get, oh, we're sorry, and then something else happens. So I
Sure.
want to see actual progress on, instead of apologies all the time. I don't want to have to go in, and because the entire property has 100 feet, makes up of our jurisdiction, right? Half the property is 100 feet from a wetland, and that is our entire jurisdiction. And I don't want to have to sit there and be like, we're shutting you down because you did X, Y, and Z. I don't want to get to that point,
No, me either.
but it is something within the Conservation Commission's power to do.
Fair enough.
So that would be my recommendation. We do a ratification, let it go another meeting to see what happens, and then we can rescind.
Well, if you're gonna put a snow enforcement order on, you're gonna have to leave it on until the snow stops.
Then we can
Not the
do-
next meeting.
Then we can do that then.
What happens if we get snow after that?
Right. Then let's wait until early April.
Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to ratify it, we could leave it in place till they're here anyways on the 310 meeting. There's really
Okay, yeah.
there's nothing in there that I think would really have a negative effect on
Yeah.
them construction-wise. It's not stopping them from doing what they want to do. Also, if you guys don't ratify it, if they did something tomorrow, we could put another enforcement order on, and then you could ratify that at the next meeting.
Yeah.
So either,
Get it done now or get
Either
it
way.
done next time.
And so where do we go from here with this?
Just
vote?
a vote for the ratification.
Do you need a motion on it?
Yeah.
Right, I'll make a motion to ratify the snow removal document, enforcement. I'm sorry. How do we want to word this?
The enforcement
I'll
order.
make a motion to ratify the enforcement order. Is it?
as written, you can say.
That's it. Ratify the enforcement order.
I'll
I make that
second it.
motion.
For 412 Summer Street.
For 412 Summer Street, yeah, I didn't know if we had a SE number of it.
Okay, perfect. And you seconded? Okay,
Yeah.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
And then
unanimous.
one abstention.
One
So
abstention.
that was a quorum.
Yes, thank you.
All right, thanks.
Okay,
Thank
All right,
you.
thank you.
thank you.
Thanks for coming, Pat. We appreciate it.
All right.
Yes.
Right.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Thank
too.
you,
Thank you.
too. Next, notice of intent, we don't have an SEO number for this one?
No, I believe this is only the local bylaw.
Ah, right.
So I was going to propose ACC 25-1.
ACC 25-1.
25-1.
Okay,
It's kind of how we do it for building permits. I think it's a good way to,
yeah,
the first one this year will be 26-1.
okay. Let me read this out, though, before we get started. For ACC 25-1, notice of intent filed by Massachusetts Electric Company to install one new mid-span utility pole on the right-of-way to the west of Plymouth Street, project located at 1103 Plymouth Street.
Hi,
Hi.
Bridget Hilgendorf from VHB, here on behalf of Massachusetts Electric Company for work at 1103 Plymouth Street in Abington. So, as I mentioned, work's located off of Plymouth Street. It's within the existing utility right-of-way. The site where the work's proposed, it's bound by the remainder of the right-of-way to the west. We have Plymouth Street to the east. It's about 130 feet off of Plymouth Street. And then there's wooded and residential areas to the north and south. The work is proposed within a wetland resource area. As mentioned, it's within an isolated vegetated wetland, jurisdictional under the local bylaw, as well as its associated buffers. So we do, on our plans here, we have the 100-foot buffer shown in green, as well as the 35-foot no-build zone and the 25-foot no-disturb zone shown in red. I believe it's on that second page there of what's pulled up. Oh, sorry, on Mass Mapper. The work itself is proposing to install that new midspan utility pole within the IVW. That'll be done with a truck-mounted auger. It'll be a single monopole wooden structure. That will result in approximately 3 square feet of permanent impacts to the IVW, and that's just from the installation of that single pole. We also have the installation of temporary construction matting within that IVW, and that's to establish a temporary work pad and access. And so in total, that would come to around 2,475 square feet of temporary impact from the matting itself. And beyond that, there's no impacts proposed within the buffer zone. We would be gaining access through the buffer zone primarily from the existing driveway that's located within the right-of-way. It's basically dirt and gravel at this point. And since the work is proposed within that IVW, the applicant is requesting a variance under the bylaw for the impact from that structure. So if I can answer any questions, please let me know.
My only thing is, right in this area here, don't we have a order of conditions on this exact area from when that transformer blew up and they filed an after-fact NOI?
Yes.
And that's where we went for a site walk to look at the restoration,
Yep.
which hasn't been completed. Right, didn't they come to a meeting and we said they had another year?
Yeah, they were gonna do some monitoring on it, I believe.
Yeah,
So what
They
is-
felt that it would kind of naturally
fill in.
fill in, and we wanted to
Yeah.
wait and see it.
And now we're about to drop mats right over it.
Yeah, so what's the plan there?
So that's not a project I'm familiar with. I would have to check with Matt Todd with National Grid on that. I've just looped in for this structure installation.
Sure.
So you're referencing, so there's a restoration in this exact area?
Yep.
Okay,
The
this precise
transformer-
wetland?
The transformer right there in that vicinity blew
Okay.
up and caught fire about 18 months ago. And then National Grid sent another company in front of us for an after-fact NOI restoration, and then they're currently on monitoring.
Okay.
So I just don't want that order or to not be able to be completed because of this one. So I don't know, would this fall as an amendment to that? Or is this a completely separate?
It would be completely separate.
Yeah, this is
project.
definitely separate.
You can have more than one notice of intent in one area.
Okay.
But it's weird because you're like, oh, I'm trying to restore, and then a different person comes through and
Yeah.
wipes it out.
Yeah, the first person should almost be taken off the hook for it.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
like if
Not
one
that I
contractor
have-
works and the next person comes in and starts ripping it all apart.
Yeah, now they own it.
You're not calling the first guy and complaining about something.
Yeah.
Not that I have any expectation to see the follow-up at the end of it from the existing one.
True.
Those never get closed.
So,
I just want to make sure it doesn't ping pong back between the two orders or two NOIs.
yeah, I mean, the area, if you're going through and you're gonna like put a mat there, it's gonna destroy what they're trying to restore.
I'm pretty sure it was pole 40 that had the issue, and they're right on the edge of it.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely right in that area.
Yeah, I think it was pole 40, and the restoration went from 40 to Plymouth Street on the right-of-way and the wetlands there. And now they're doing 2018-50, which is probably 50 feet away. It's right in line with it.
how
So,
many feet?
It's not much.
Yeah, I'd say 40, 50
Yeah.
Okay,
off
so,
the scale.
but what you're proposing is going to affect what they're trying to restore. In other
Understood.
words,
And,
yeah.
yep, and that's something separate that I wasn't familiar with. So
Correct,
if
yeah.
that's something we need to circle back on, I can circle back with
That would be
Mass
nice.
Electric.
That would be good. It's a very nice packet, by the way. I liked it.
Yeah, it's just,
So to confirm, the concern is even placing temporary construction matting, that even though that's pulled, in our experience, the wetland will restore itself naturally after that. There's concerns with the conditions following that for the other order.
Well, because you already have a wetland that's been disturbed and is trying to come back, and it's being monitored and kind of paid, they're paying somebody
Absolutely.
to restore it, right? And then if you have a different entity come in and destroy it and then say, it'll come back, I don't know how I'd feel about it if I were owning that company and I had paid someone to do work. I mean, I'm sure it will come back.
Yeah,
It's
both
just-
applicants are
They're both National Grid.
Yeah, well, yeah. But they paid, National Grid paid.
Right, National Grid is paying.
For
I
a
think that
wetland
one
scientist to
was-
come in and do their restoration, and that wetland scientist is supposed to come in, give us reports, and they're gonna be paying them.
I mean, will
and
the
he's-
report,
Shouldn't we let them off the hook? I mean, they have
we should have this notice of intent
override the other one.
somehow get in touch with the monitoring company, and you would have to have it monitored.
Which is something we would have to confirm with
Right, it's-
National Grid.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing I could.
we just need to
And the
make
clock.
sure that
Kinda
we
like
can
remove
close out the other one.
Close out the other one
Yeah,
and
start
approve-
over.
And start over with this.
Because there's no point in having extend the other monitoring
It's not gonna work.
parallel with their monitoring at the same
So
time.
what's your time frame on getting this done?
I'll have to confirm, and I can circle back with Nick if that makes the most
So, can you
sense.
come back in 2 weeks to our next meeting?
I would
discuss
think
this
so.
with them, and then
Absolutely.
if we continue it to the next meeting, you
Yep.
could get that straightened out with the contractors and National Grid, and then maybe we close out the other one and just move everything to this one.
Yeah. And then you guys would
Yeah.
take that over
Yeah.
for a 2-year period.
I just don't want to see a clerical nightmare as we're trying to close out standing
Yeah.
I think
NOIs.
the easiest thing for everyone is just to close that out.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
The old
You
one,
just
yeah.
take
Yeah.
that one over, yeah. And really just close that out, and now they're responsible for
Yeah.
Yep.
restoration.
Would you guys want to get a letter from the previous applicant?
Or can we just make a nomination to close that one? Or can we not even bring that up because it's not on the minutes?
Well, what I would do
They
is I
have
would
to-
just continue this until our next meeting.
Yeah.
See what you can come up with and stay in touch with Nick.
Absolutely.
And then we could put it on the next agenda to issue
Both
a
of them.
certificate of compliance on the other one with a note that it's being transferred to this one.
Yeah, I mean, I would issue, just agenda-wise, I'd issue this order of conditions and then immediately after, issue a
Yeah,
certificate of
yeah,
compliance on that
yeah.
one, once
Yep.
this one's officially
Right.
taken on that burden.
Yeah.
So I'll reach out to that other applicant and have them ask for that
Yeah.
certificate of compliance, pay the fee, everything like that. I'll look at the plan, confirm that we are talking that same
Right.
exact wetland. I think AJ is absolutely right,
Yeah,
but
because I know it was
I
right
haven't
in
looked at it for
that.
6 months, so.
There's a riverfront right there somewhere. This map doesn't, oh no, it's.
There's a riverfront further west. I believe it's on the not. I don't know if it's shown on the non-zoomed in.
I think it's this green line right.
If you go
It's-
one page back, you can see it.
Yeah, it's a strange.
By 215.
Yeah, 218 has something right
This
there
was
by
on-
Mass Mapper.
Yes, there's a stream that does flow through there.
And that was the biggest issue because we have a 200-foot frontage on on bank rules in Abington.
And the state.
I thought state was 100, we were
No,
200.
no, States,
Rivers Protection Act
perennial.
is
states.
state as well.
Oh, it's the bank that's 200.
It's- Abington is-
Abington added all ponds and lakes to it.
Okay, that's what it is,
Yeah.
okay.
So I can confirm with our applicant,
Okay.
if it's acceptable with you all, confirm this other restoration that's going on in this area, touch base with them, and just confirm that they're comfortable with this approach as well, if that
I
is
got it.
okay before.
Yeah, I got all the contact info.
Okay, great.
I'll loop all three of us in together.
Okay.
And probably hash it out pretty quick.
Okay.
I can't
Yeah,
imagine
I'm
that.
pretty sure they're gonna say, sure, sure.
Yeah, they've probably already been paid for and everything.
I don't want to
so-
speak for either of them, so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I'll get a kind of a group email going. I think we can sort it
yeah,
out.
I just
pretty
didn't want
Great.
to hear in May as they come and go, yeah, we can't.
quick. Yeah, there's a mat down.
Because there's
Yeah.
a swamp mat right in the middle of it.
Okay, so,
We continue it? or-
I will make
Yeah.
a motion to continue to,
It'll be 3/27, or 1/27, sorry. We had all those March talks.
yeah, we're still January,
Yeah.
January 27th.
That day
And if
works
you
for
need more time, we can put it off, so just let us know, we can put it
Okay,
off. till
we can
the
reach out if
Yeah.
additional time's needed.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, so a motion for ACC 25-1. Second,
I'll second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, unanimous. Thank
Great.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, coming up next, we have enforcement order on 400 Bedford Street. Let's see this. Go. Nick, would you like to
Yeah.
take over?
Did that 412 one make it down and back? Just
Yes,
so I can put this file away.
sure.
So 400 Bedford Street, Lowe's. Last year, we got a complaint about salt being stored on the property, used on the property. Person complained remembered from when they got the approval, there wasn't supposed to be any salt on site. At that time, went out, talked to people at the store, took a couple weeks, salt got out of there. They told me signs were ordered, salt wouldn't come back. A couple weeks ago, was driving by there, noticed this big pile of salt, drove in, salt spread everywhere, no signs were up. So last year I tried talking to them, it apparently didn't stick, so this year I kind of jumped to an enforcement order, which again, some of the other one will be on you guys if you want to ratify it or not. I spoke to someone who identified themselves as being more corporate Lowe's down south. They told me they would identify someone to attend tonight. I was expecting someone to be here. That's the last contact I've had about it. So apparently they didn't send anyone.
This is their response to your signage?
The,
Piece of paper zip tied on the handicap poles?
yeah, I mean, I know signage can take a minute to get ordered. I'm more bothered by, I drove by today and there's still a pile of salt.
Uncovered.
It's kind of got a tarp around it a little bit. It's mostly uncovered. There's salt everywhere up there. You know, it just kind of runs out of the basin. The basin dumps into that wetland on the northeast. I pulled their old stormwater plan from when they got approvals. Everything kind of collects and goes into that wetland. I don't think there's any kind of treatment in between. So it looks like a long run, but that's where the water goes.
So you went there last year and told them?
Last year was end of season. It was March or April. We had a pretty easy winter, and they're, oh yeah, we're trying to get them to get it out of there. So, and this isn't the same pile. It was removed, and now it's back.
So you have a contact at corporate you're talking to, or?
I had them call me after, I mean, this violation I sent out to the address on there, which is kind of the corporate owner. And then I sent it to the address that the assessors have for tax purposes. And I sent it to the store itself, I believe. I kind of threw it all out. I know other enforcement in town has had trouble dealing with this property because they go through store managers fairly often, and all of them are, well, we don't handle that. It goes to corporate, it goes something else. No one's really in charge of anything. I think the store managers do a lot of work. They're managing the employees and the stock and stuff like that, but the facility is not what they deal with. And they don't,
So they're a big boy company.
aren't willing or anything like that to give you who manages the facility. But it's,
Shut them down?
Yeah, we should absolutely ratify it, but
Shut them down? Can we?
what happens when they keep doing it?
Can we?
What's recourse?
So I looked
Fines?
within DEP, there is a fine line somewhere of seizure of equipment being used.
so
There's a
one thing to
loader
keep
and a
in,
salt truck sitting there. You throw that out there, that's gonna get their attention
Yeah.
real quick.
Who's gonna tell it?
Frickin' Lynch will go there right now.
So one thing to keep in mind is this is not a DEP issue. It is Abington local regulations.
Yeah.
This was filed under an ACC, actually, I think it was ACC number 1.
Use
Oh.
salt adjacent to a wetland isn't a DEP?
This is not a state regulated wetland.
Because it's an IVW?
It's an IVW and a vernal
Okay.
pool are on site. So we are within our town
Within the
bylaw
town.
here.
Yep.
Which I don't believe we have anything in our town bylaw that lets me start taking people as as fun as it would be to run down 18 in
Sure,
it.
sure.
I get the
So is there a fine, I mean,
Because the other thing
what's, I
is,
guess I'm just asking, I mean, are we just,
they have no bin
So
block.
what can we do, do you think, Nick?
what's the?
We can fine them.
How can we get there?
Local bylaw can fine them $300 a day. I mean, we can put an order, to close down the parking lot. I think that would be a big step that I wouldn't jump to day one.
Yeah.
But the thing is we have to, for the fining, I think this is the way it works,
Better
is
ratify, okay.
you first have to give them the warming,
Mm-hmm.
then at the next meeting, you say, all right, we'll fine you 50 a day.
I mean, I think you
Right?
guys could direct me to oversee the fining, and it wouldn't have to take meeting by meeting. But I do think it starts at 0, then 50, then 100, then
100,
200,
then
and then it's 300
So
a
we
day.
can
Town can use the money.
ratify this and make a motion to have you do what is ever is necessary to resolve the issue.
Correct me if I'm wrong, though. You gave them till the 6th to have it out on paper here. And then right here, it says failure to comply to this order may constitute grounds for legal action, and you have the fines listed out right there. Isn't that notification of possible fines?
Yeah, I mean, I would go through my normal, the
I'm just saying
$0
what-
one is day
I
one.
believe that's what the charter says, is that you're supposed to officially, the first meeting, you don't go, we're fining you. The first meeting
Because
is
this is a
supposed to
state
be, we're informing you that we
Okay.
may fine you. So we could do that, or we could say, nobody can park here now.
And
Move it.
I remember when this was before us. That's how old I am.
Yeah, I mean, we had,
I actually signed this.
Because I know I also witnessed while I was on site making a purchase at Lowe's on Sunday. It was right after one of the snow events. I can look back at my logs because I took a photo of it. They're loading trucks that are leaving the site. So they're not even using that salt pile just for Lowe's. They're using it as a hub going to other properties. Not that that changes much for us, but there's probably 60, 70 tons of salt on the ground there right now with no containment, no bin block, no nothing. And uncovered.
Well,
So
let's,
step one is to ratify this, right?
let's make a motion to ratify it.
I'll make that motion.
Well, before, though,
And then,
do we want to amend it to say something specific?
Well-
Right, because we've been talking about fines, we've been talking about
well, I
shutting
was
down.
gonna ratify this and then make a motion to allow Nick to resolve the issue as he sees fit.
I would recommend at least adding that we want someone here at the next meeting. I know they already didn't show to this one, but I think it should be on the agenda again, and if that just turns into me updating, I hope it turns into something more productive than that. But assuming, if you guys are going the route of as I see fit, assuming I get in touch with someone and I get an actual person who's coming to the meeting or anything like that, I'd probably put it on hold, assuming the salt's out of there and we have that person coming to then discuss it, is generally how I'd handle anything. The fines for me is usually a last resort of the person just not responding and just refusing.
Yep.
Which I'm feeling like we're close here, but not fully there.
So what is the deadline we would give them, though, to remove the salt before you start to, let's say that somebody shows up at the next meeting, but they still haven't removed the salt. They just still don't have signs up. What,
How about
I mean,
Friday this
between the
week?
next 2 weeks,
What's
what are
the-
we doing?
It's like Friday this week on the salt. I'll go tomorrow and explain the situation to them. the salt could be out of there today if they wanted it out of there today.
Yeah.
Right.
I just don't
You
want to
know,
see.
there's a loader sitting next to the pile. It's not, you know, oh my God, we can't do this. We're a little business. You're killing us. It's,
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
you know, in 2 hours, they could have it out of there if they wanted it out of there. It's just they apparently don't want it out of there. I think they've
Yeah.
weighed customer complaints versus our enforcement and decided they'd rather just keep salting.
I think you're right.
I think is what happened. Which
Well, and that-
they agreed to everything at the beginning. I think probably at that time even knew that we're gonna salt it.
Yeah.
You know,
My biggest thing is if we get an event between now and Friday, we don't want any use. They've already disregarded this on 3 events since you served the order and solved it. So beyond moving it, it's keeping it from going in trucks and getting spread. I don't know.
Are we supposed to get a nor'easter at the end of the week?
Yeah.
I actually just checked the weather, and my weather app's not really saying much.
Okay.
Yeah, because the thing sat there through all the rain this weekend uncovered, ran off. Is there, I'd have to go back and look at the original plans and see if they have deep well basins or anything on site.
yeah, the original plant's here. It's got kind of a big retention underneath the parking lot that then pipes over to the wetlands. Kind of dumps in 3 locations on the north side, pretty much in all the wetlands. It's what it was designed to do, which isn't too big a deal if the water going in's
Yeah,
somewhat
I
clean.
had heard that too,
I
but
think-
I'm not seeing anything now.
Oh, what a relief.
Yeah, I would, so you want to amend that to,
Go ahead, I don't think I technically made a motion there.
so the motion.
Well, I was gonna ratify this as is, but we want to add,
Just amend it and then we can just ratify,
Okay.
I think would be the easiest thing.
yeah. Go ahead, amend it.
Amend it that they must have someone present at the next meeting, and the materials need to be removed
By
by
Friday.
Friday of this week.
So we're gonna change in Part C, the January 6th date to the 16th.
Yep.
And the January 13th date to the 27th.
And then how do we enable Nick to act as he sees fit? We,
So if they don't have everything done by Friday, so Saturday morning, you're not working, so we're going into Monday. They're technically violating the enforcement order, even though we haven't had our next meeting yet. So at that point, that would be when we empower you to do something. But what would that be?
I think at this point I'd be
Fines.
fining.
Yeah, that's the only way you're gonna get
But
it.
is that how it work? I mean, is that how it works for conservation though?
So just make it so,
They're violating the town bylaw
So-
separately from, not conservation general. We have a bylaw that allows fining for violations. So again, this isn't a DEP regular property, it's just town. We have those wetland bylaws, and any violation of a bylaw can get fined. I forget the name, it's some state amendment with a name that most towns have adopted to allow
so
fining
I
like this.
think we just allow Nick to use whatever means necessary to resolve the issue.
And would that also include shutting something down?
Whatever means necessary to resolve the issue.
That language
Within the
would, but
law.
it's not something I would resort to
Yeah.
in the next 2 weeks for sure.
Whatever means necessary within the Abington town bylaws.
Yeah.
My only question is, at that point where they've disregarded to this point,
Then put a lien on the property.
do we need, or do we
Which the
want to
town would do
enforce
with it.
a scientist to soil test for infiltration or anything of salt? Have they damaged those areas?
I think that would be a good discussion that I was hoping to have with a representative from the property, and should still be had when we get someone here,
Yeah.
of what to do about what's already happened there, because we
So
know it's been
to
going
get
on
us
for
to
at
the
least 2
next
years.
meeting, let's ratify this
As amended.
with,
As amended.
as amended, and see what happens at the next meeting.
I don't think we're seeing anybody until it starts costing them money.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
$50 a day is not going to be a lot of
Yeah,
money
and-
either for
and
them.
50, I mean, it's for one day, the
50
next
a-
day's 100, and then you
Yeah,
start
I
the
was gonna
300
say
day. but-
50 a day, they'll just pay
But
the
at
fine.
least
Even-
this gets us to the next step,
Yeah, exactly.
you know?
Even the $300 a day, they might think is a good rental for
Yeah,
destroying
exactly.
the wetland,
Right.
but
Yeah.
At least the kids will have, maybe they'll get a new teacher out of it. Keep the salt there long enough, so.
That's true.
Fundraising.
That would be a teacher's salary.
Yep.
Okay, so, all right, so let's do that. Let's have a motion.
Okay, so I'll second, do you already have it worded? Alex?
Yeah, what did I say? Motion to ratify the enforcement order. And the conditions would be that they must send a representative to the next meeting. The salt pile must be removed by Friday, the 16th. And to enable Nick to use whatever means necessary to enforce it
on the commission's behalf.
on the commissioner's behalf. There you go.
I will second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, unanimous.
Now, just out of curiosity, a side note, with it being a bylaw, I know like if you had an unregistered vehicle, you could tow it out at the owner's expense. Out of a
He wants
driveway.
to-
I could not.
Oh, I know some towns do, I didn't know if that was... Okay, so that answers my thought.
So 15 Groveland Street. It's
Yeah.
not on the agenda.
I get that on complaints is what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do it then. All right, so moving on, discussion on minutes backlog.
Thanks, sir.
So when Nick is done writing, we'll give him his brain time
The,
to think.
So I was talking to Nancy, who at least people around town hall a lot know for doing an excellent job on the zoning minutes for many years, and actually I believe used to do the Concom minutes
Yeah.
She went on Concom when I went on Concom,
for quite a while too.
back in the last century.
And Nancy, being as great as she is, offered to help with our backlog of minutes, which is significant.
Yes.
And
passes.
I hope that the commission will support that. And I will coordinate with her, getting her going on that.
If you guys don't know Nancy, she is
She does everything around this town.
fantastic.
I know Nancy, yeah.
That, when you told me that, Nick, I was like, yes, she's just so amazing.
She is.
Her meeting minutes are just, you go back in time and you can see what happened, and
I think she
Just
likes
so well
it. She
done.
gets her headset on and she kind of just gets in a groove and
Yeah, just does it, yeah.
everyone knows to leave her alone. And
Yeah, so I would-
Support whatever you need, right? You need a motion on that, or?
yeah.
Yeah, it's really your minutes. So if you guys want her, you'd still vote on them as they come in. You'd hopefully get a few at a time for you guys to review and vote to accept them. But
There are some from 2024 that aren't on the website.
everything I have is on the website.
It is? Okay.
Yeah, as of a couple weeks ago.
Okay, good, good. Good.
But yeah, I certainly wouldn't want Nancy spending time on it if the commission wasn't interested in it and was just gonna toss them out.
I'm very interested,
So
unless, yeah.
I don't know if it necessarily needs a vote, but really just wanted to hear that everyone wanted that.
Yes.
Okay.
Do we want to vote? Because I think everyone's going to say yes.
You certainly can, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, make a motion to allow Nancy to
help us
build
out.
the backlog of minutes.
To save you all, yeah.
A second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous.
Thank you,
Okay.
Nancy. On the
Thank
record.
you.
On the record.
Yeah,
Yes.
she'll get to this one in a couple months.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, building permits, 106 Rockland Street.
Yeah, so this was a building permit I got for a barn that's being built. There's a couple pictures too, you guys can take a peek at. They have it just outside the 100-foot buffer. So wanted to get someone out there from the commission to confirm where the flagging was, to then confirm that we're outside of the buffer. Alex and I went out. Pretty much my view of it, it's kind of somewhat steep hill down to the bottom, and that's kind of where the flagging is. It didn't seem like anything was really running up from there. So, not that I'm a wetland scientist, but it seemed like a pretty obvious line anyways.
Yeah.
The flags were still up when we went there, everything like that. It was marked out well.
I'm happy to go over. It's my neighborhood.
So they're building it on top of an area and then there's a steep slope from there?
The wetlands at the bottom of the slope, it comes up the slope, then levels off, and then that's where they're building it.
Okay.
They're not building it on the slope,
They're coming out beyond that slope,
they're
yeah.
probably 50 feet at least from the slope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's nothing proposed earthwork-wise aside from digging the footings,
Oh, okay.
pouring them, and
Yeah.
then, and it's
Okay.
not a full foundation footing, it's
It's a
footings down.
slab.
Actually, they,
106 Rockland?
yeah.
It's set in back.
Oh,
Yep.
that's a huge,
106.
Oh boy, what did I do? I just went up. 106, where are you?
Oh, it's big.
Yeah, so it's to the southwest, kind of in that, where the light green ends, is where the barn's going.
Right here?
West,
West.
left,
Yeah.
kind of in that area.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Probably more in the light green area, but over that corner.
yeah.
I see, I
Yeah,
see.
yeah.
Okay.
So that light green is kind of more where the yard is, where it levels off. Actually, you can almost kind of, you can see kind of
yeah, the drop.
the contours of it, how we
Yeah.
drop down to that wetland. I think the
Yeah.
wetland's bigger than what Mass Mapper's showing there, but you can kind of see where it all pools at the bottom.
Right, yeah.
Nothing really kind of goes up from there. I don't think the line was any reason. I mean.
So
I
they're
think-
not doing it like around
No,
here, it's
no.
on the other side?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so they had it
They had
flagged
flagged.
though?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, so we're just basically saying you don't
Yeah,
have to have it
so-
put on a
Right.
plan.
Even if
and-
it was still, yeah, it's pretty far away even
yeah,
from this area.
right, yeah.
Okay.
All right, motion for a negative determination
Oh, I
It's
haven't
nope.
applied.
There's no file.
They didn't apply. This is
No.
more just me updating you.
A formality, yeah.
You know, Alex came out, confirmed he was comfortable with the line. I like to at least get someone's eyes on it aside from just my own. This is really more an update, or if there are concerns to then circle back to it. But assuming there aren't, I already consider this kind of done as far as conservation is concerned. Unless I go out for the footings and see that something's
Yeah.
changed on the plan from
But
what they
he
proposed.
seemed to have it,
Yeah, they seem pretty well under control.
yeah, yeah.
But thank you, AJ, for being ready for that. No, really, I appreciate that.
Hey, when we can get them off the table quick, I like it.
That's right. Okay, so now I'll do 15 Groveland Street. So just to be very clear, this was an emergency that happened on Sunday. This was after the agenda was posted. And typically, we're not allowed to talk about something that's not on the agenda, but the open meeting law does allow us to talk about emergencies that have to do with the public interest,
That
which
arise within
includes-
48 hours after the agenda was posted.
Correct. So environmental matters is part of the public interest. So, Alex, would you like to?
So I was leaving the police station, picking up the police report from my accident, and Lynn called me and said, "Are you out and about?" I said, "I am." So she said, "Can you go over and look at," well, we thought it was the gas station.
Yeah,
And I got over there, and it's not the gas station, it's across the river, the old,
oh,
if you come up to the lights at Truthman.
Just slide down. You're behind it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
there we go.
So,
This is off,
15.
right? Isn't it over here? The
Yeah,
river?
you can kind of see the
You can see
depression.
the-
Oh, okay.
this-
Runs up there and takes a hard left.
Like right around where I have my mouse.
Yeah.
Is where it actually is.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So, I'm sorry, Alex.
yeah, so they were further down doing it, but anyway, so it wasn't the gas station, so I went over there and they did have Bobcat, and they were jackhammering the granite, and I told them they had to stop. And I said, it's state rules, you know, not trying to hurt anyone, but there's a process you have to follow. So I got on the phone with the owner, and Lynn was on my phone at the time, and told them they had to go in and see Nick on Monday. He asked me if he could move the piles. I said, you can't do anything, leave everything where it is, just get the machine off the property, which he said he had to wait till Monday to do. And I understood that. I said, that's fine, go see Nick. So apparently, he had already gone to see Nick.
Yeah, I had someone who represented being the new owner in to ask about it, talked about doing some clearing. I told them with the river there, anything they do on the property is going to involve coming here. I also told them they weren't likely to get approvals to do any kind of expansion there. I always try to give people heads up before they spend money if I think it's a waste of money. We discussed what they could do. He complained kind of it's running over the parking lot. I told him that that pavement line's there. You can kind of clean up to that pavement line. Don't go beyond it. I went out Monday, saw they'd done quite a bit beyond the pavement line. I don't want to get too involved in the discussion. It's pretty short notice. The owner has been, I spoke to him that day, one of his employees called and put him on the phone with me. I've talked to him a couple times since then. He intends to come to the next meeting. He was in New York, couldn't get up for this one. So.
Is this a residence or a?
No, it's a used car dealership.
Okay.
You know,
Wasn't he here?
No, that's the other, that's the one next to Trufant, the gas station.
It's on the other side of the river.
This is on the other side, the white building,
Yes, okay.
on the other side of
Yes,
the river.
okay.
So for the most,
Is,
And I thought that's,
Gene said that was the old bike shop.
the old bike shop. Okay.
But it's
So-
on Grove, it's the first building on Grove.
I know exactly where it is,
Where the
yeah.
lights are there. Yeah.
so I think for the most part, most of the discussion should be saved for when the owner can be
Yeah.
here to
Right,
have the
so-
back and forth with how short this notice was. It's understandable they couldn't get here. This only went out Monday. The order, just to stick to that, I got a few pictures for you guys to, you know, hopefully justify why I felt the need for an order. But I told them to remove trash, which you can see there's a pile right on the bank. I was worried about that just going in, so I wanted that out. Remove the pile of millings they had there, and to install erosion control between the riverbank and the area they worked on, as immediate things to be done before that next meeting even. Aside from that, they're told, just stop everything. He's been in touch with me. Wednesday, they're already working on the trash, and Wednesday, machine's coming to pull that pile of fill, the pile of new millings that was brought in.
Yeah.
Pull that out of there. He said by end of the day, Wednesday will be gone. So I'm going out there Thursday morning with his permission to confirm those two things were done.
Okay. They installing silt fence or erosion control?
That's one of the
For
orders.
hauling?
That's one of the orders. He, you know, understandably said that would take him a little more time, but I told him it would be in his best interest to have it done before he comes here in 2 weeks. He seemed hopeful that he could come here and tell you guys the progress that's been made in that time, which I said would be great. You're lucky to have 2 weeks. Hopefully you can come and get off on a slightly better foot with changes being made. Aside from that, I don't want to get too deep into it when they're not here to defend themselves.
Can I ask, because I don't remember, we had so many enforcement orders this past week. Did we put in the restoration, checked off those boxes for restoration?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay.
Restoration plan should be filed by May 1st,
Okay.
2026. I figured it would be April before someone can really get in there and figure out the restoration, so I didn't want to put that too hard.
Absolutely.
You guys can always amend that date once the owner's here to discuss it with you.
Correct.
But I thought that was a decent placeholder date.
Yeah. So that's really the only thing we can discuss is the background and also ratify the enforcement order and everything else, we
Yeah,
need to wait till the next meeting.
yeah, I think so.
All right, so motions, ratification?
I'll make a motion to ratify the enforcement order on 15 Groveland Street.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Okay, great. And then we have Plymouth County mosquito control correspondence. Didn't they sent us a letter and said if we don't hear from you at the end of the month?
Yeah,
And we were like, what? And
so
That's right.
I spoke with, the phone, who was Matt McPhee, who's the one on here. He was good to talk to. He was kind of like, didn't understand what the concern was. I was kind of like, we don't even really know where it's going. There's a, USGS map with a pretty big box on it.
Yeah,
I know it's, on the map it looks like a small box, but that's a pretty large area. He's like, oh no, there's a site plan and stuff like that. I go, we didn't get that.
right.
So this is what is now in there that he emailed over to us to help understand where exactly this is happening.
Okay.
He also sent over some extras from the law about,
Yeah.
this being a allowed activity.
Yes.
It's kind of considered a, public health, not emergency, but need.
I don't think anyone on the commission would vote to not let them do it, but it was just really,
It was pretty vague what he sent.
yeah. And then what
I
he
think-
sent back was basically, you guys can't do anything. And it's like, okay.
Yeah, the big thing was
We're
that,
confused about what you were saying.
yeah, the site plan map was a big help that, when I
Yeah,
was talking to him, he kept talking, I go, are you talking to the US, like, you can't see anything on there. And he's like, no, we sent this, and he corrected that mistake. And now I think it's a lot clearer.
yeah.
So they're looking to bring in like a mini excavator or something to open up?
I think they pretty much just pull it back and kind of spread the silt out. I think that silt ends up being pretty good soil for things to just grow back in. And
Aren't there's like a stream there, right? River
Yeah.
On that property?
yeah, I don't know if it's a stream or, I guess some kind of stream.
Or I think
But-
it's,
They've been doing pretty good at finding those lately around here.
People call on it a lot, I think.
Because
As soon as the mosquitoes start biting and things kind of pool up, everyone starts calling as to why. I've gotten a couple calls about things like that I kind of just refer them to these guys.
this one,
wasn't here, there was another one that I didn't overlay on. Or maybe it was on Zero Warren. There's-
That is the area where they're doing this.
Yeah, this is 85 Warren.
Yeah, which is the last house on the street, and they're just beyond there.
Okay, and then, but I was looking at this area, and I think I did an overlay of rivers, and there's a river back here. It's probably the Shimatuscacant, because that's over, that's up here. Goes on Lincoln. Okay. All right, well, that's good. Anything else we want to talk about with that? We want to move on to the next
Spray away.
thing? Last thing, I think, is the Cleveland Pond year-end report. Looks like they've made progress. Can't find the report now, but, oh, here it is, right in front of my face. Having tons of milfoil at the beginning to lots of native species at the end, but then we've got this fanwort popping up in the, I think that's the northern part.
Yeah.
So they'll have to keep doing some more stuff, but it's a definite improvement.
Yeah.
But this is probably something they're gonna have to always do, right? This has been
Yeah,
years.
water flows in and out of this.
Yeah,
So it's, even if you kept every boat and every single thing out of it, somebody upstream does something, it hits you.
yeah, yeah.
This is one of the state ones, it seems like they're kind of making an effort
Yeah,
in
that's good.
general to get things cleaned up, and, if we clean ours, it helps everyone, us and down, and the next guy up cleans theirs, and
Yeah.
all kind of works out, and we all get a little better off.
Okey-dokey. That's it.
I got nothing else.
Motion to adjourn.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Done. Before we